Welcome to What's the Scenario at PLRB, where we explore claims and cover scenarios relevant to insurance professionals. I'm Brendan McLaughlin, Education Counsel at PLRB, and today I'll be joined by Mike Brode, VP of Meetings and Education. So, what's the scenario? We're calling foul ball. A spectator at a local minor league baseball game was injured when a foul ball zipped through a tear in the safety net and broke his arm. The spectator claims that the stadium owed him a safe environment, that it knew about the tear and didn't fix it, and that the mascot wasn't even that funny. To score, our litigant is going to have to run all four bases of the core elements of negligence: duty, breach, causation, and damages. But first, we're going to head into the deck page.
Yay.
All right. And today we have, I guess we'll call it our scheduled item, our thing to discuss, and that is baseball.
It's baseball season. All right.
What's your relationship to baseball, Mike?
Fan, but I will tell you a funny story. When my kids were little, I took them to our local affiliate. At the time, they were the Yankees affiliate. Now they're the Cleveland Guardians affiliate, but the Columbus Clippers. So we went to the Clippers game, and it was one of the fireworks nights. So I'm like, all right, this is exciting. So the kids want to stay for the fireworks. But Brendan, was a school night. So I'm like, all right, kids, we'll stay, but you got to promise me you'll get up in the morning. And this game, the other team tied it in the ninth, so it goes into extra innings. And then literally Clippers came up, scored like 8 runs. I'm like, all right, be over soon. No, the other team came back, scored 8 runs, tied it. It keeps going, inning after inning after inning. So it's around midnight. The kids still want to see the fireworks, so I make the promise. All right, you promise me, kids, you're going to get up in the morning for school. You won't get me in trouble with your mother. Sure, Dad, no problem. So yeah, we stayed for the fireworks, got home way too late. And then, of course, when you try to wake the kids up in the morning, no go. So they're all mad. My wife's mad. I'm the only one who had a good time at the baseball game, I guess, afterwards. But yeah, so our little fun night outing turned into a nightmare the next morning. But it was still memorable. I'm still thinking about it to this day. So
yeah,
nice story, Brennan.
And who won?
The Clippers finally pulled it out in the end, so that was good.
Well, there you go. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. It's a family event for us too. We go to the local Railcats game every now and then. And they have a lot of stuff for the kids. Yep. No fireworks, but I think we have pictures of the kids with the mascot, and they let them out in the field, and they do all kinds of fun stuff. So
what's a rail cat? What kind of mascot do you have for a rail cat?
I haven't put that much thought into it. I'm not sure they did. I guess it would be a cat that like an alley cat. This is a cat that like hangs out on the railroad, because it's a very strong cat with like a beam, a railroad beam as like the baseball bat. Okay. So I don't know if it has any basis in reality.
Rail cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good name.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have a lot of trains in Northwest Indiana. So it's very regional in that way.
Much better than Clippers. We have no ships. That's kind of the thing. We're in the middle of Ohio. We're landlocked. We have a couple of rivers, but there are no big Clipper ships going anywhere. So yeah, I like your name much better.
It's kind of a mythical thing to have a Clipper. It sounds exotic then. All right. Well, we'll transition into the scenario. All right. So we're talking about negligence, and we've got this scenario where we got this spectator that was injured at a baseball game. So what are the 4 bases someone who's looking to claim negligence? What 4 bases do they have to touch?
So this kind of came to me from an attorney back in the day that was trying to train adjusters on the theory of negligence and what you have to prove as the injured party, as a claimant, in order to hit a home run, to get your damages, to get a monetary award, which is what you get in tort liability from a claim. So his thing was, to get to first base, you have to have some kind of a duty owed. So Was there a duty owed to this person? Yeah, you would think a spectator in the stadium, yeah, it's a baseball game, things could happen, but if you put a net up there, you would think you'd have a duty owed to keep those folks safe from getting hit from a stray foul ball. If you have a net, you would think. So was there a duty? Sure, there's a duty owed of reasonable care to the folks that are out there in the stand. So that makes sense. So if we get past that one, yeah, there's a duty owed. What's the next thing? Well, something had to happen to breach that duty. So if you breach the duty, then you're to second base now. So we had a duty owed. There's a breach of that duty. So what happens now? Well, here maybe, I don't know, the cut in the netting, maybe that might be something that was a breach of that duty owed to this person that might have had to the injury, maybe. So maybe you're at second base to get to third. Then did you suffer any damages as a result of that? It has to be from approximately caused by that thing. So here, baseball hits arm, causes injury. I think you might have a good argument that you've got proximate cause of that injury. And then if you get all the way to third base, you get that proximate cause, you have damages, that's your home run. So there you go. So you have a duty owed to somebody, a breach of that duty. There's some sort of injury that is proximately caused by that breach. Ta-da! Home run, Brennan. Get your monetary damages.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Don't even have to. I guess you got to walk around the bases just for show, but yeah.
Home run trot, even though you have a broken arm, poor guy. But yes.
Yeah. No. Let's maybe walk through those a little bit. So you talk about duty. The duty to provide a safe environment. I mean, this is a pretty unique situation, but I think it's analogous to something like a slip and fall at a supermarket, wouldn't you say? Like something that, if you walk into a store or a business, you have some expectation of that you're going to be safe in there.
We'll go with the banana peel, right? So, there's a banana peel on the floor. Hey, that shouldn't be there. So, if you slip on it, maybe there's something there. And then there's things you would have to look at from an adjuster. So how long has this banana peel been there? Or who put it there? All sorts of fun things that would be there. But you're right. Yeah, you have a duty as a customer. You're thinking this is a safe environment to come into. So shouldn't be something on the floor that causes me to slip.
Sure. And that kind of gets us into breach. Right. Funny thing about this scenario is a literal breach, a literal net. But it's interesting because I think you could invent a scenario where, the ball tears through the net, creates a breach, right. But there's not really a breach on the part of the stadium because maybe it was a brand new net. They had no reason to think it would break. In this particular set of facts, we set it up so that they knew there was a tear. And really that's, I think the quotes I've seen, did the person act with a degree of care that a reasonably careful person would have shown in the same or similar circumstances, right? So it's kind of like
on notice of the hazard, like you said. So if the baseball park knew, there's a tear in there, but we're not going to replace it till after this home stand. Then we'll take care of it. And maybe that's an issue there.
Yeah. And that touches on the next element. These are great transitions into foreseeability and causation, right? Because the other aspect is the ball had to fly right through that little hole.
Right.
If it flew over the net, if it, that could be another, the height of the net or whatever. But if, it ricocheted off a bunch of things and did something really unexpected, maybe it wouldn't be foreseeable. We can come up with some kind of set of facts where maybe somebody's just watching the ball go this crazy way, not looking where they were going, and they slip on something.
Right.
Would that be really foreseeable here? Would that be proximately caused by this foul ball? I'm not so. You can come up with a set of facts that you kind of break that direct link. You want a direct link. We talk about proximate cause between the negligence and the damage.
And the other things that can kind of make that link a little murky, or what did the claimant do that might have contributed to this too? So let's say like you said, the person in our scenario is trying to catch that foul ball, and yeah, it goes leaning over 5 rows and then falls down from the upper level to the lower level. Well, is there something maybe they did that caused an issue here? Or let's say it was 10-cent beer night like we used to have up at Cleveland Municipal Stadium back in the day, and our person is partaking of quite a few dime beers, and all of a sudden their mental faculty is wowza. So maybe easily this ball could have been avoided, but this person's a little too tipsy to get out of the way of the foul ball. Is there some potential negligence there on this person? So there's little things that can creep in there, Brendan, that kind of break the little proximate cause chain that you got to look at as well.
Yeah. And and exactly what impact that has can depend on the state. So maybe we should meet up again, take a rain delay,
We will
and
nice. There you go. We'll
talk
shelve
about
that. Yes, I like it.
Yeah, we'll talk about contributory and comparative negligence. Maybe another time, another episode.
Boy, I can't wait.
For now, let's close out. Let's talk a little bit more about damages. I mean, we're talking here. It's not only that you've got to have some kind of duty,
right?
You got to have all four. You got to touch all four bases. You got to have the duty. They've got to have the stadium's got to have some reason to owe the spectator some kind of duty. They got to have made some kind of mistake. There's got to have been a breach. Act with a degree of they didn't act with a degree of care that a reasonable person would have shown. It's got to be causation, that it caused something. There's something that it has to cause has to be damage. Right. You know, if it just kind of lightly tapped them with no impact, that's not going to get you anywhere in a court.
Yeah, I had a claim like that myself personally, where unfortunately, I slipped on some snow in my car, hit the brakes, and kept sliding. Slid into the rear of the car in front of me. So yeah, was there a duty owed? Yeah, I'm supposed to be able to stop in an assured clear distance and not hit the car in front of me. And was there a breach of that duty? Well, yeah, I should have been further back in line and not been scooting on the ice like I was. But yeah, we got out, looked at each other's cars. Everything was fine. Nobody was hurt. So yeah, we had duty owed. Yes, I did. I breached that duty. But yeah, there was no proximate cause of any kind of an injury or any kind of damages. So we stopped at second base. I hit a double. That was all.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes that's where it ends. It doesn't make it
crumbles.
Yeah. But you know, I think in the litigation arena, and maybe this is something for another podcast as well, you get into, you know, emotional damages in some cases, and you start talking about, well, there wasn't any physical damage, but sick to my stomach, I'm throwing up, I can't look at a baseball.
Right.
So
yeah, that gets interesting too, Brent, because a lot of times the policies that cover it, either say the auto policy or like a general liability policy, CGL policy, might say you have to have a bodily injury or property damage as a result of that negligence, that accident, whatever it was, that occurrence. So here, yeah, is that an actual bodily injury? Is it property? Well, if you sick to your stomach and you perhaps threw up on one's clothes, I don't know, maybe that's property damage. But is there a bodily injury here? I don't know. So maybe there's interesting fact there. Is there coverage for such things? And different states look at it differently. They might say that upset stomach is enough to trigger that. Yeah, sure, that's some kind of injury. And some would say, come on, upset stomach, give me a break. Yeah, it's fascinating how the law kind of, and state by state, and it gets so complex. That's what's fascinating about it. I love it.
Yeah. So, but for now, we'll keep it simple. This was a great review of those four key elements of negligence. So we'll head into our 3 key takeaways.
Can I throw one more out there?
Toss one out.
All right. So let's say this, that because we were talking just about the reasonable care, and that's a normal circumstance in most tort losses, but there's other stuff too. So let's say you, Brennan, and your part-time gig are a dynamite factory that you make dynamite. So if you're involved in like super dangerous, risky type professions, or you have vicious animals like my Bichons that I have here that might attack somebody, sometimes there's something called strict liability. So you don't have this just reasonable care thing. It might put the onus on the person who's doing these ultra-hazardous kind of activities, that they might be more on the hook, and then the whole baseball thing doesn't work there. You're already kind of considered liable, and all of a sudden you just have to show, well, the person wasn't that hurt or something. But so yeah, there could be strict liability. There could be other crazy stuff out there that might change around our little scenario. But for most average, ordinary cases, yeah, you're just talking reasonable care and the negligence kind of standards. So there you go. There's a little factoid from Uncle Mikey.
I think we need to come up with a baseball analogy to deal with negligence per se. We might have to change the rules of baseball. Maybe if you're some kind of special role, you can skip a couple bases.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have to massage the rules of baseball to make this analogy work.
It's kind of like an overtime in baseball or in extra innings where the runner already starting at second base, right? There you go. You're all right. Hey,
you got it.
Came up with it. Perfect.
Perfect. All right, let's head into those key takeaways.
Yay.
All right. So what are our 3 key takeaways? First, you must touch all 4 bases: duty, breach, causation, and damages to establish negligence. Miss 1 base and you're out. The breach must directly cause the injury. The stadium's torn net only matters if the foul ball flies right through that gap. And no damages, no claim. Even if the stadium drops the ball on safety, you won't establish negligence if the ball misses you completely. And just to note, this is a rough overview. As you can imagine, jurisdictions vary, and there's a lot more depth to this. But this is a rough outline of the 4 key elements of negligence. And where can you go to learn more? Well, head over on to plrb.org, where you can check out our CE course on Introduction to Negligence Concepts. Check out the show notes for the keynote points in this episode and links to learn more at plrb.org. Subscribe and rate us, and we'll see you next time.
The views and opinions expressed in this resource are those of the individual speaker and not necessarily those of the Property and Liability Resource Bureau, its membership, or any organization with which the presenter is employed or affiliated. The information, ideas, and opinions are presented as information only and not as legal advice or offers of representation. Individual policy language and state laws vary, and listeners should rely on guidance from their companies and counsel as appropriate.